OMG, finally we have proper Japanese reissue of the 565, the legendary RG model from early 90s. Hello, Michał here. Ibby Register is a journey to document every Ibanez guitar ever made. And if you want to join me, click that subscribe button and let's go! Today we're gonna do news again. It's been a while since I did the last news episode, I think it was October. And I didn't expect to do any new news episode this year because usually end of year is a kind of dry area for new guitars. Everybody wait till the January and NAMM, the convention in US where usually new gear is dropped. News were like dripping in and dripping in. I wasn't sure if it's like worth an episode. But OMG, they reissued 565, the legendary RG model from early 90s. But we have actually quite a lot of other RG models made in Japan to discuss. In last news I was talking about J-Line Talman and I predicted that probably other models will follow. And my predictions were right because we have a new J-Line guitar. It's called RG565 FX, which says a lot about its features. We have 6 strings, RG bodied guitar with HSH pickup configuration and fixed bridge. The bridge is very interesting because it's not like a one bridge but just 6 monorails. The price on the Japanese website is 135,000 yen, which is roughly $1,300 or like 1,100 euros. 2/3 of cheapest prestige. Basswood body, super wizard 5-piece neck, rosewood fretboard, proven V pickups, so V7, S1, V8. Basically it's like a classic RG, maybe minus the trem. The guitar has a tilt joint, so the same as we have on Genesis series. Genesis series and J-Line are kind of the same leather. They're like made in Japan, non-prestige, but made in Fuji. And overall the guitar has a very similar vibe to FR800. It has this blackout logo, locking tuners, the monorail bridge that I mentioned. It's really cool. It's very like metal looking guitar. Another cool Japan only release was a new color for the AZ2402. It's basically the classic 2402, so 24 frets to double humbucker configuration, but instead of a maple top it has a chestnut top and has this crazy yellow through blue to green burst. We also have a bunch of new J.Customs. JCRG2001 and 2002 were announced very early this year, and 2001s dropped in the first half of the year. 2002 were released I think October, so you could buy them in October. They have this burst kind of faint thing going throughout the guitar together with the fretboard, so fretboard is stained. I'm not a fan of this, but some of those colors were great. For example, the Salamander, which is kind of from red to orange. Another one dropped recently is 8520 SLTD. It has an older body and Sapele top, but they didn't cover the palm rest area where you usually have, like for example, maple top covered. Maybe just Sapele doesn't like form very well, or maybe that just that's what they were aiming for. I don't know, it kind of looked unfinished in a way. I'm also not a fan of Sapele tops or also barrel tops. They kind of look for me like a socialist furniture that my parents had in the late 80s. RG8520 SLTD has also bare knuckle pickups and gold hardware. It looks very luxurious. Again, I find the J.Custom stylistic mostly over the top. Those are not kind of guitars. That's not the kind of guitar I would like for myself, but they're definitely great craftsmanship, really well built guitars. And if that's your style, they're probably beautiful to you. But that's not the reason we're here. We're all waiting for the 565. This is part of the Genesis series, which is reissue of the classic late 80s, early 90s Ibanez designs that make them the kings of super strut. A few years ago there was initial run in Japan and then release for the wild world. I think it was 2017 for the 30 years anniversary of the RG series. And they released first the classic 550, 570 and 521, the fixed bridge. Then later on came 550DX, so the one with the shark tooth inlays, and finally 565. The original RG565 was released in 1991 and it was very short-lived, only for like 1 or 2 years. They had humbucker single configurations, which is very uncommon for Ibanez, and there wasn't really that because the single was like a single coil shaped humbucker, but you had a possibility to have a HS. And actually prototype for this model called RG565R for rosewood fretboard, or some people call it RG765 because it's the shark toothed inlays like the 700 series, had actually V2 and S1, so the humbucker single, the proper humbucker single configuration. So 565 was released in 4 colors. It was black, that was the least common and is the most pricey right now. There was candy apple red, emerald green and laser blue. 565 has a few characteristic features. As I mentioned, humbucker single configuration, reverse headstock, that was very new back then, and the matching dot inlay. So the red color had a red dot, the emerald green had a green dot, the black had the black dot, which was the most boring one. Then in 2010 we had very short reissue 465M, had all of those features that we loved about 565. So, you know, reverse headstock, matching dot inlays, HS configuration, although it was again humbucker and small humbucker. But it was made in Indonesia. It had the all-access neck joint, so not as the original, and mid-tier, not so great tremolo in the form of H3. Then 2 years later, when there was a time for 25th anniversary of the RG series, there was RG XX-V3 that was also kind of the same guitar, just with the different trem. It was H02 in that release. So we had 2 kind of limited Indonesian releases in 2010 and 2012, but that didn't fill people's expectations. When the news dropped that they're finally releasing 565 here at the end of 2020, a lot of people get super excited, including me. When I saw it, I was like, OMG, finally we have proper Japanese reissue of the 565. The interesting is the choice of colors, because we have the emerald green, that was like one of the colors from the first run, and fluorescent orange, it's like completely new color. And I really dig how the green one looks like, and the orange with the maple fretboard, I don't know, the contrast is not so big and it doesn't look so great for me. Let's take a quick look at the features. We have the tilt joint, the same as on all of the Genesis series. Some people hate it because it's much less comfy than all-access neck joint. Some people love it because it's throwback to the original ones. We have a proper tremolo, the original edge, the best. Black hardware, reverse headstock, matching dots, so all the features we love. Humbucker single configuration, and it's a weird combination because we have V8, the classic Ibanez humbucker in the bridge, and we have Infinity mini humbucker, which I like. Infinity humbuckers I know from like Indonesian 300 series, and those are full big humbuckers. I don't remember if there was any guitar that has like mini humbuckers from the Infinity series. So it seems like they do the new pickup just for that. And I guess it's a matter of like cutting prices that we don't have the ReIssue pickups. Again, getting this like Japanese guitar for like reasonable price. So we won't get a case, we don't get the Prestige edge treatment, and I guess that's why we don't get the ReIssue pickups. I think it would be really cool to have a V8 and S1 with like 3-way switch, like the original pre-release prototype had. I actually have 465 that I modded this way, so it has a 3-way switch. It has V2 in the bridge and S1 in the neck. I really like the sound of those, you know, classic Ibanez pickups, especially V2, and it really works well, and I really enjoy that guitar. Also wonder what it's gonna do to the prices of the original ones, because they were like such unavailable and rare. The prices were kind of getting a bit crazy. So maybe that will stabilize the prices. Time will tell. I encourage you to watch previous episode of the news from September. You know, the news got a bit outdated, but also talk a bit more about Genesis series history, so you can dig in a bit into that if you're more interested. Or check some other videos on the channel, and thanks for watching. See you next time.